I promised other people that I'd be on my worst behavior. And I gave them my word, so...
Don't make me fire you.
You can't fire me. You're acting manager, not office manager, so you have no firing powers.
Don't make me pre-fire you.
You wouldn't dare.
Watch this. You're pre-fired. And when I'm promoted, you'll be full fired.
If you get promoted. And if you haven't fallen in love with me by then.
What?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It is the Sunday roast, but it turns out to be the injury roast, and I don't know if I should laugh or cry or sell this season to Netflix as a best-selling knowledge. Dr. Death behind in Carrington. What is going on, people? This is adding on to 65 injuries, and what is it, 26 in the backline in combination. I mean, curse of United, curse 2024. How are we all doing? Should we laugh or cry? And this is turning my Sunday into a nightmare that I have to come on and speak to you guys in the community, but in a light way, in a roasted way, because it is a comedy show after all. Like, you know, if you look at this season, you know, here we are, like, you know, 3 games left in the Premier League and one cup final to look forward to in about 3 weeks, I believe. So I just looked at price of tickets and it was like, you know, starting from 625 euros to go watch this United. And currently we are limping on one leg. We are currently out without any CBs, Centerbacks, or I don't know, man. What we do know is, gathering from Ten Hag's press conference, that Johnny Evans is kind of back into training, but Johnny Evans cannot play for 90 minutes. Let's just be real. This is surreal. So who are we going to line up with against Elise tomorrow? Who? I mean, instantly I'm thinking about the youngsters. I'm thinking about Habibi Ogwene, like, you know, he's one of them. There's the under 18s, but is it fair for the young kids to make the full debut, like, away at Sellers Park? Is it right? No, is it Sellers Park? Listen, I'm just absolutely panicking and I'm shitting myself, but at the same time, I cannot stop laughing because it is what it is. And look, I was planning just to do a chilled one, or roast, like, you know, look back at the Liverpool. You know, they pulled down Spurs pants today. 100% they did, because they wanted to see the cock. Did I just say I just said that? Sorry, but they did. And this is the funny old season. Like, you know, we have 3 games left to play, 2 games to play. You do the maths and calculations. You can arguably see that Spurs drop points today, and we need to win this point, and we can actually finish 5th. But currently, we're sitting on 8th, and so could us and Newcastle, and Chelsea's coming on very strong, very, very strong. So big up to all of you that made it to this crisis meeting. But I just don't want it to be crisis. I want us to have fun, reflect on the season. We can laugh about it. And at the end of the day, as a community, you know, mental United, let's just agree on something. Tomorrow, are we going to win? We don't have any centre back. Would we see a Casemiro playing with Amrabat? I would say, I don't know, man. I'm conflicted at the end of the day. Like, you know, you have people that can play center back, but they're young and unexperienced. And then you have experienced players, but why would you shoehorn them into the wrong position? I mean, it's a rock between a rock and a hard place. It's like a double-edged sword. And I don't know, like, you know, I watched that interview with Ten Hag, the overlap with Gary Neville, and I had sympathies. I said, like, this guy is telling the truth. And it's understandable. We cannot play our style of play because we don't have the capability to do so. You look at the bench, you look at the injury list, and you go, what should I do here? 10-10, like 10-10-10 on your tennis pitch. Rack, city bitch. Rap power is in the house. He's not longer power, it's rap power.
Yeah, bro. I've been
rap
music. That's why I rebranded to Rap Power Hour. But you know,
did you get that rap? 10-10-10, right?
Yeah, that's literally how I was like, the timing is so perfect. The timing is amazing, bro. Yo. How you doing,
bro? It's been a hot minute, Botswana and Papi, and or Rap Power Hour, Football Power Hour.
It's just the
good.
name for the weekend.
It's
Yeah.
good.
Tell me.
No, I mean, I took a weekend off to think like, oh, good. I'm not going to do any content. Just going to chill. But there's no one day we can have a rest without something's going on with United, which is absolutely pissing me off.
Of course.
And this injury, it's for real.
Harry, my lord. what's going on? Mr. Maguire?
What's in the water in Carrington?
Something is really, really messed up in Carrington, that's for sure. I feel like sorry, Anita. I think I fixed my audio settings now. I feel like there needs to be a proper investigation of, like, why a player gets injured in training right now when so many Willie Kambala just came in here and when I looked it up yesterday to figure out what Kambala's injury was, it was unknown, unspecified. Like, they don't actually have a proper way to, like, label it. And now Maguire, and it's like, what's next?
Walking on the wire, Maguire. I still have echo of myself a little bit on you, but man, listen, is it like, Dr. Mengele is there hired with Dr. Death? Come on, what's in the water? I mean, clear and obvious, everyone that plays football nowadays, they're wearing this, it looks like a bra, right? Like a female bra. It's a black vest, but what it is, it's a monitor. So they get all the data of the player and they go straight into the laptop and computer, and they can analyze what's going on, the heart rate and everything, the monitor.
Mm-hmm.
But wouldn't you, I mean, logically speaking, wouldn't you monitor this with a microscopic micromanagement to say, we got one fit centre back, let's just not risk him in training, shall we? No. Let's do some idiot runs. Yeah. And you have the medical department saying, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Bro, when I found out about this, it was I was doing a watch along earlier, the Liverpool game, and then I think Ronald is the one that broke the news to me, saying, hey, this is what's happening. And I was like, I think it's about time we as the fans deserve a little bit of video footage of what kind of training. Are they doing, like, some kung fu kicks, or are they doing, like, some extra like stretching that they don't need to be doing, or sprints that, like, sometimes like, you have to actually work smart and not work hard. And I'd be really disappointed if not sometimes, most of the time, that's what you should be striving for. That's the balance. You should work smart. And if you are out here having people, like, really bust the, like, really go all the way in training just to show something to the managers, like, at this point of the season, it should be about just getting through, just holding on to the. You know how many games are left?
Three
games.
3
9 vital points. Tres.
Domela.
9 vital points, bro. It's like, why? If you have to do Zoom training, do it on Zoom. Let them know, like, this is what I want from you.
Yeah. Go back to the pandemic season where they use Zoom call trainings.
Zoom calls.
Hey, big up. Lucky Singh is here. Johnny Evans, hopefully fit. Lissandra Martin is closing on return. But, we have to be careful. Listen, Johnny Evans cannot play full 90 minutes. I know he's back fit, but he's been out. So you cannot risk him. You wouldn't risk Lissandra Martinez because you're probably saving him for the FA Cup final. So what are you left with? You're left with alternative to play, still Casemiro in the centre-back position, or with Amrabat. Right? Or as I said in my opening statement, would you destroy a youngster's career from the under 18s? Like, you have Habib Ogoyene, you had the other one, the captain of the under 18s, Jack Kingdom, what's his name? Yeah, as well.
Yeah.
But what if, and you're playing away at Crystal Palace. What if they do a howler? That's the end of their career and their confidence, right? So what would you do, Pops?
Prioritize. Yes, Lucky, including tomorrow's game. And Stu, I saw that. Including tomorrow's game, it's 4 Premier League matches, but it's 3, like, considering that today's match day is done. But to answer your question, Mick, is like, I would really put priority on the FA Cup final, and you already have to write the season off, and you just gotta use the remaining Premier League games as a template for a preparation for what's going to happen in the FA Cup final. Because at the end of the day, we really need to open the trophy cabinet at the end of the season, and I know the odds are against us, but
guys,
it's still 0-0. The FA Cup final is still 0-0 right
it's
now.
still 0-0.
We cannot lose the game before we start.
No, I gotta sort of show some sympathy with a lot of our, community. End of the season, rip. Like, I understand, but I think it's been the end of the season ever since January, with this medical department going to Ten Hag to say, oh, what is the situation with Malacia? What is the situation with Luke Shaw? Not a problem, Mr. Eric. They're all fit for firing. You will have them back in January. Okay, you can sell this Spurs guy. What's his name? What is his name? Sergio Reguilon. Yeah, sell him. Okay, return him back. We don't want him.
Yeah.
Return to sender. Okay. And send this Fernandes to Benfica. Okay, and we will put a 6 million sell-on clause on it. And Benfica, not Mugs, they've been like saving him, and he's got to play 50% for that to be active. But the Benfica, they're not Mugs. You know what I mean? They will buy him for 6 million, and then they will sell him for 100 million. Again, they pulled the pants down on John Murta, who did this deal. And they left with Ten Hag stranded with nothing, right? He planned for the summer, planned for the season, he planned for the full squad. He said in the overlap, I only played my full fit squad once in this season. Once. So, Eric, why don't you play your style of play? And he goes like, how can I play my style of play? Look at that. It goes down to the recruitment. Spot on. He kind of called them out a little bit. So have you seen what I got? Do you think they can play this style of play? They're pompadoms. They're made of porcelain. Right? This is what I'm laughing about.
I have to actually say, for me, that part was the most illuminating of the interview, because I've had moments in this season during watch-alongs or during reviews of the game where I accused Ten Hag of tactical ineptitude. And I was like, why is he insisting on sort of doing things that, like, he's asking players to do things that he should know that they're not capable of doing. But then he actually gave this context for me. I was like, okay, I understand it. I may not completely agree with it, but I understand it. He said, hey, I've been trying to move to a more proactive football. Last season, you saw we were so defensive, and so we were good defensively. We had
we won the clean sheets, golden glove, the most less conceded goals of the whole. Everyone, we were not conceding.
All the things, the music to my ears, right? Gospel to my ears. But that was first season, and then he says, well, this season it was my job also to try and make us more proactive. Now, if I'm a manager and I tinker things based on the personnel in terms of if I ask you, Mick, Mick, this is what I want us to do every single time, right? And then Mick is not able to do it. I'm like, oh, shoot, we got Jarvis right now. Jarvis,
he can't even do it.
Well, we're going to do this a little bit differently because Jarvis is here. What does that do for Jarvis's confidence in the long term? What does that do for somebody that is not there when Jarvis is not available? That's how you plant seeds of doubt and uncertainty, and he doesn't want to nurture those seeds, and that's why he said, I'd rather stick to the proactive football that I've been trying to preach to everybody.
But the question was, knowing what you know now, you don't have the ability, wouldn't you just go and set up more pragmatic? What he said, we spoke about it, we thought about it, but then the players that I know can play this style, when they come back, we have to change again. So therefore I stuck to the same plan, which is fair enough, which is what, he gave a lot of explanation. And in media, he's also been asked, and he was asked in this interview, what's going on with the medical department? And this is something they are looking internally. Anita is here. Big up, Anita our job. Lord Maguire is out. How will I able to sleep tonight?
Please,
And
we got
Jarvis Cocker is here. We was just
Jarvis
speaking
is
about
like
Jarvis.
20, man.
Yeah, I heard. What did you say?
I said Jarvis 4 times and he showed up before I could say it the 5th time.
So,
Yeah.
Jarvis, we were just making a roast out of the whole situation. We are laughing about the season. We are laughing up the medical departments. We have Dr. Mengele. We have Dr. Death. We have constructed a Frankenstein out of the fan base and everything. We just had enough. And now, should we laugh or cry with Maguire's injury? And who should we play? Some people are also laughing with us because at the end of the day, we got to see it for what it is. Like, if you could sell this as script, it will be either a comedy to Netflix or will be a horror show, like, in one mini-series episode.
Yeah. No, Maguire injured, but he's been struggling with a couple of injuries lately. But we know when Maguire, he's tough, he's always pulls through, and he's available. That's one of Maguire's biggest attributes. Availability is the best ability, they say. So I was a little bit surprised that Maguire was injured, that he can't play, even with the muscle injury. But it is what it is. So tomorrow we have a task: how to set up the team defensively without any center backs. That will be one of the biggest problems. But as you mentioned, Mick, we have Amrabat. Some people mentioned McTominay. We can use him as a center back. We could drag in Dallo to play center back. There's options, and play Amrabat as fullback. So not everything is lost. But we are up against Mateta. We are up against Esse. We are up against Ulisse. So this is going to be tough.
Yeah. Bots, pops, you know what? I hear what Jarvis is saying, but there's kind of what we don't want to do is to shoehorn players in the wrong position that they don't know how to play it.
Thank you.
So
you do what's necessary, Mick. You do what's necessary.
Yeah. 3 points. Yeah, I hear that. Lucky we're not the managers, but if I'm going to talk about Harry Maguire, I'm going to give him a lot of roses today. Harry, former Captain Harry, he's improved. He did a Rocky Balboa of the summer. He trained hard. He's going to prove the haters that he can do it. But I can see a very improved Harry Maguire this season. The way he's charging like the bull in Pamplona, right? The running bull. He's being more aggressive, and he stepped up when we actually needed somebody. So this, for me, is a little bit of a blow. If you asked me in the summer, I wanted him gone. But if you ask me now, would you keep Harry Maguire? I say, yeah. As a 4th or 3rd choice center back, it's good to have, right? Because he's proven to me that he fights for this shirt, right? And he made himself available. But now the question is, I did a poll here, guys, and I said, whose fault is it for this Maguire injury? Is it the manager or is it the medical department? And as of yet, it stands of 70% on the medical department. So Jarvis, look, you played the game, and we talked about this earlier. Like, they're running around with this bra vest that looks like they have boobs, but they don't, right? Flat-chested, but still, this bra collects a lot of data about your heart rate, collects everything. I mean, maybe they don't use it in training, or
no. It's about too much of the games, too much of everything, and they are pushing the limit. And this is not just Man United. You have seen it in the Premier League this season. So many injuries all over the place. So it's not the medical departments of every club. It's not the medical department of Spurs, Brighton, Newcastle, Man United, you name it, Chelsea. It's not. It's the whole league. There's something wrong with the Premier League, how they push the players, because they're humans after all, and we are reaching a limit, and we have passed that limit for a long time ago. And they are trying to figure out, can we just squeeze in one more match, one more minute of football? How can we milk the cow, make us some dough? And players get injured left and center, and this is the problem. So I don't know what we are going to do with this, because it's not going to end well. And this is also into next season, we will still see injuries
You will
come.
carry it over, yes.
Yeah. And
Poppy,
yeah.
this Jarvis makes sense because we've spoken about this before. At least I mentioned it because now they introduced foreseeable. We don't even know how many injury minutes they add on, 6 to 9 to 10 minutes sometimes, right? And that is adding on extra pile, right? Plus, what you ever saying, Jarvis, we haven't had really a rest because in the middle of last year, or was it this year, we had a World Cup and then we were playing 3 games a week and we didn't have enough recuperation time. And that's what I believe that Newcastle's been suffering. We have been suffering. But if you look at City, they're not suffering. Why not City suffering? Because I think they have the best in class physio and medical departments.
What is the point that Eric Ten Hag advanced that I was like, hold on a second at first, but then I was like, it kind of makes sense. When things are going well, this is the point, what Ten Hag said. I'm sure you guys, some people in here have heard it. When things are going well, injuries somehow do not appear as much. But when things are going bad, injuries, like it's almost like a hypothesis that I was like, hold on. I had to do a little bit of like, look at Manchester City. Liverpool has had a few moments of like actually also some players getting injured, but it's not like a lot of that first team is injured as much. And the season has more or less been, going better than ours, right? And then, but they did have that season where I think it was last season where they were like a lot of injury plagues and stuff. But there's a little bit of like a correlation to what he was saying. It's not a scientific fact, but it's kind of like a little bit of like there is something that happens to the players as well that I feel like trickles down to, and it's mirrored to what the success and the progress on the pitch is. And I never ever considered that until I heard it from Eric Ten Hag talking to Gary Neville. And one of the other buzzwords he mentioned was bad luck. And the luck is getting even worse when you look at it now, because after we thought we were having some of the injury boosts and players are coming back, things are not looking good. I'm even scared for Martinez's sake now, feeling like if he comes in right now and we're struggling versus Crystal Palace, he might even have an injury that relapses or happens again before the FA Cup final. And that personally, as a Manchester United fan, it really worries me. What you mentioned earlier on was the fact that what if this carries over to next season?
Yeah, but I want to spin down what our Jarvis also say, because it's all coming down to money, and more broadcasting.
Yeah.
You longer the game's gone on, the more influential the VR is getting, and the referees deciding the moment, deciding the game. It's becoming more of a broadcasting theatrical. And then you look at the Champions League model next year. It's going to include more games, more teams. So do they really care about the player welfare, or do they only care about how much dengue or money Benjamins they're going to make?
Yeah, the writing is on the wall. It's obviously they don't care about the players. It's all about the money.
Let's do like Anita was saying. Let's do some Pilates, like what they did in the 90s.
Zumba.
Zumba. You seen this video?
Do some Zumba. I remember this clip with Is he called James Warden? Like the guy
the clip. Yeah. There was like Wayne Rooney and
class of he did that with like I saw like Rio and that team. I think it might have been the class of 92 or that they were like like working out together, doing like some calisthenics type of like workouts. And I was like, maybe this is just what we need. We just need to do some yoga type of exercises, light training, and just focus on finishing the season with everybody available. Sometimes you just got to prioritize availability and be like, nobody needs to be sweating too hard in training right now. Nobody needs to be tackling too hard in training. We need to just be easy on each other and look at the bigger picture,
Right. No, big up team, big up everyone that's tuning in for this extra crisis meeting. We have Timmy in the house saying, what up, Mick, Jarvis, Cocker, and What up, Botswana puppy? We also have Daniel Hutchinson in his house saying Ten Hag is trained and harder Prem than, I mean, train harder than the last time. At the end of the day, like, you know, these guys are falling like flies. And we know that he likes to stick to a certain formation, 15 players max in his squad that he likes to play. But at the end of the day, I cannot wait to see the accountability now. Obviously, like, the game plan is there. Jason Wilcox is there to set a game plan, like how you're going to play. And then everyone is going to come in and he's going to have accountability. So they're going to watch him like a hawk. So, Ten Hag, I'm your boss now, and you have to rotate. Do this, right? You're just a coach right now. Before now, he didn't have anything. He looked at the bench and said, screw this. Like, you know, I cannot play anything like that, right? So we know we are not the finished article, and this is what I'm laughing about. Like, you know, we are not. I'm laughing because last season was a totally different style of play. And when I listened to this interview with what he had with Neville, he clearly said that this season was all about bringing in Onana, changing it up. You know, Mason Mount was recruited for the pressing and off the ball, and everything just went tits up, right? So you can just write this season off to say it was a bad business year, right? It's like you running a business. You know that revenue is going to be, you make good money one season, or you're a farmer, you have a good crop one season, and next season it might not rain and you don't have any crops. So I just feel, I don't know, as a fan, I think I've gone through all the emotions of anger, depression, tears, had fears, but now I'm just saying, like, it is what it is. I just want to focus on the FA Cup, be fit. If we win that trophy, that will kind of sugarcoat everything for me. I don't know about you guys.
What you think, Jarvis?
For me, you know, I would still fight for the league. We have to fight if we want to be in the top 5 or top 6, get Europa League next season. If we finish 8, as we are now, as we are standing, we won't get anything next season.
Yeah.
But you know, maybe it's for the best. It's a hard. But when it comes to being a professional athlete, you know, if you just down tools now the last 3 games and don't give it all, it's hard to switch it on again in the FA Cup final against City.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. We have to keep the competitiveness, the will to win. We can't just like down tool and start playing all of the that will just screw us in the end. That's
But do you think the players are actually down tool? Because I don't see the down tool for the manager as of yet. It's just they don't have the mental ability. As soon as we let one goal in, it's like the whole 11 on the pitch just crumbles mentally, right? And I think it's even addressed. And when it comes to shots conceded, comparing to last season, where you had the winner of Golden Glove, and you recruited Onana, which absolutely was horrible in the beginning of the season, but after AFCON, he became good. I think that we recruited those 2 players 1 year too early. 1 year too early, I think, you know?
Well, Mick, it's a little bit like, I mean, you could say
they happen to be available right now, but they were planning for them for next season. Like, they knew that they bought an injured Mount, or, you know, they want to play out from the back. And
yes, but say, because we've had a mixed bag of vegetables, right? We've had a really like interesting, like some players that can play where we want to go, and some players that can play where we're actually trying to go. It's like, you know, the players that really support where we're trying to go as a club, like most of them got injured, so that makes you like sort of like not be able to take advantage of like Onana's ball playing capabilities, of why we brought him here. So it's hard to see what, you know, the positives of him, you know, when like say De Gea. In retrospect, it would have been better for us to go for Onana this coming transfer window as opposed to last transfer window. But nobody would have seen this. Nobody is a witch doctor to be able to see like into the future who's going to be available and who's not. And at the same time, you could also make the argument that Onana, having the mistakes that he made this season, as big and detrimental as they were, in the long run, they'll actually benefit him and his development, like in settling into the Manchester United ecosystem. It's actually going to be very, very much more beneficial for us in the future. So I hear what you're saying, but like nobody could foresee this, Mick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jarvis, this is something we have discussed before, and I'm a big advocate. I even said it on Nerdin's channel. I think next season is not to play in Europa at all. Just focus on the rebuild. Just focus on the Premier League. Focus more time to develop your drilling, to drill into this squad, because obviously we're going to get a new squad. So I don't think we are ready to play in Europa. So I think we should just focus on domestic next season and focus on a proper 1 game a week, or maybe add on the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. What's your thought regarding that?
Well, the thing is, when it comes to Europa League, it's all about money. And we need money, we need revenue, how to buy players. Yeah. So either way will hurt us if we don't get Europa League or Conference League. And another thing is, I think we need experience playing in Europa. We need to have the ability to play 2 times a week, and we have a squad for it. How are we going to build a squad playing 1 game a week? How many players will be here? No, they will have game time, and even the fringe players. So it's a hard jigsaw, how to set this thing up. So I think we are best set with some kind of Europa League, Conference League. I think that will be the best for the club. But it depends how you want to play it. You don't have to play your strongest team going away in Kazakhstan.
No, you don't have to.
In the group stage. So for me, I would like to see Ten Hag learning from his past mistakes and actually like playing the youth, playing the bench players, let them have game time, because we don't need to play our strongest team in games that really doesn't matter that much. So that, I would like to see more of this, and we saw it with Ole when he was the manager in Europa League. Sometimes he chucked on the youth players and gave them game time, and I think that's the way to go if we are going to have Europa League or Conference League.
What are you saying, Botswana?
I 100% agree with Jarvis, and it also, like what you're saying, Jarvis, makes me feel, the rhetoric from Klopp. Too many games. 12, 30. But like, bro, you have big squads for a reason. And I understand the whole thing of managers wanting to preserve the best 11 or whatever the players they deem as that best 11, and wanting them to always play together and always try and put assemble the best team that you can possibly assemble with the game plan that you have in mind. But the number of games you have as a manager is also an opportunity for you to play the other players that are not always, getting game time in the quote unquote big competitions. So it's like, for me, like when a manager starts to complain about things like that, it's like, just get up, wake up from your like delusion cloud, and it's time for you to focus on like the other guys that are on the payroll. Aren't they also getting a salary from the club? What are they there for? If they are actually they made it into your club, into your team, like the whatever, like however big your squad is, whether it's 22-man squad or whatever, like they deserve a chance to showcase to the world what they can do. It's not just for you and your coaching staff to only see in training. So like right now, I would have wanted to see you ever remember that goalkeeper Kovar that we had?
Yeah, Kovar.
Yeah.
He's cooking.
Like we never see these guys, and this is an opportunity. Like anytime you have extra games that are not like, say, Premier League games or Champions League games, you have to just prioritize coaching the players that are not like in your best 11 to go and deliver and get the results. So yeah, that's where I stand with this. And
But
I don't want to hear managers complaining about we're having too many games.
But the thing is,
Just
when
wanna-
I thought about this, Poppy, when it comes to Conference League or Europa League, if we qualify for the Conference League, it will actually be a little bit better, because when we come to the second half of the season, when the goings gets tough, if we are still competing for top 4 and Conference League, it will be easy for us to choose where to.
So what would you say?
what
Just
horse
play
to-
the under
to
18s
bet
or the
on.
academy?
Or because if you are in the Europa League, you can still qualify for the Champions League next season by winning it. So it's the choice is tougher, and we have seen this riding 2 horses at the same time, and it never pays off. So being in Conference League and fighting for a Champions League top 4 spot would actually be easier.
Yeah. So you're saying that if we are in Conference League, like Aston Villa, by the way, they are not looking good. Aston Villa lost today. Yeah, they did. They did. Big up Brighton. De Zerbi got one. They deserve to win. Would you say then just play, if we are in Conference League, doesn't mean jack shit for us fans. Like, would you just say play the kids, play the academy players? Yeah,
Basically.
100%.
Play the subs, play the kids.
Play
I
the
see what
subs.
Mark's saying is this not NFL, not football. That's a very traditionalist way of looking at it. It's time for you to use the players that are on the payroll. Otherwise, you're paying somebody to just train with the first team and then they get like 5-10 minutes. For me, that don't make no sense. Imagine if that was you. Imagine
I'm gonna make something make sense here, because this is the Sunday roast, and first and foremost, we got to shout out everyone is just tuning in right now. The numbers are growing up right now. There's 120 of you watching. There's 30 likes, and it's free. Like, raise your thumb. You're not gonna get injured, right? So it's just pressing that.
you
But
lose 1 calorie.
we spoke about Klopp earlier, and what Klopp did was he actually played the kids when he had injuries. But if we are into confession, I want to play a little bit small banter clip that I posted on my Twitter that had 64,000 views. Are you ready, guys, for this one? Because I think this deserves a little bit of attention. Are you guys ready?
Oh no!
That is definitely ground for divorce, being a Liverpool supporter, right? So farewell, Jurgen Klopp. You only can indulge yourself this season, Mr. Klopp, only with 1 energy cup. The rest is gone. So at least we can laugh a little bit about that on this Sunday, can we?
Yeah. What's the name of that show again? Is it like Hyacinth Bucket or something?
Yeah. Onslow.
No,
Classic. Classic. I see the reaction, like, Luan Fans is laughing her pants off, saying Liverpool fan.
Onslow is the guy. I love him. Oh man, I grew up watching this show. I can't even remember the name. There's Miss Bouquet in it. Somebody in the chat who remembers, please remind me, because I'm gonna go crazy trying to remember the name of this. Keeping Up Appearances. Yes.
Keeping Up Appearances. Rest in peace for Jeff Hughes as well. 100%. Listen, there was some good classics in the 80s, 90s, and I remember this one, Hello, like,
René.
René, yes. What was it? They were looking for the British parachuters. That was the occupation. Listen carefully. I will only say this once: the Resistance. Yeah, that was that one, and there was also the Young Ones, like, welcome to the house of. They all lived in a collective. One was a hippie, one was an anarchist, and one was a snob. And oh my god, it is hilarious. And little books of horror.
You guys also watch Mind Your Language?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, Mind Your Language is another classic too. Great shows.
So we're opening up with a little bit of a laughters, people. I'm going to throw you some stats that Rashmano shared with me earlier today. That's in the chat, which was something. Sometimes you get blinded by the light. We focus on all the negatives, but I actually looked it up, and he was spot on. Number of defeats in 2004 in all competitions. Ten Hag with 60 injury players, 3 losses.
61.
Klopp, what? 61. Klopp 4. Arteta 4, Unai Emery 7, and Postecoglou now 8. So, right, when you look at everything, like if you marry everything together, is it a grounds for divorce, like Onslow here? if you just focus on the interview with Gary Neville, the guy spoke the truth. And here is another stats. Okay, the number of shots conceded, XYZ. And do you actually believe what the mainstream media is writing in the papers while we are saying that he will not be sacked? Or Ornstein is not saying he's going to get sacked, or Romano is not saying he's not going to get sacked. But the remaining, the journalists are saying he is. And also, it's something that came out today. I cannot laugh about it. Swap deal. Bayern Munich swap deal with Manchester United for manager. Have you ever heard anything like that? A swap deal? Wife swap. I heard about wife swaps. Yes, I've seen reality shows about. I want to hear from you, Jarvis. Do you believe that? Swap deal?
Swap. No.
You're starting with
No
Jarvis.
comment. No comment. But yeah, I don't want Tuchel. Tuchel is not.
And what's on your t-shirt, Jarvis?
My cock.
Okay.
That's what.
My God!
That's Ange Postecoglou came in today, like, to Liverpool and said, "My God, Spurs, the cocks." Right. Got pulled down his pants and say, "How big is it?" 42. 42 inches. 42. Sorry.
Ange Postecoglou is a great guy, but I don't want Tuchel in my club. I don't think he's a good manager. I don't think he's any better than Ten Hag. I actually think if we are swapping down, and that's not a good thing. It's not a good deal. There's other managers out there if we want to sack Ten Hag, but for me now at the moment, I think the most sensible thing is to keep Ten Hag for another season to see what he got, because this season has been ruined by injuries, and we all know it. And not just injuries, it's been about Greenwood, it's been about Sancho, it's been about takeover, so many things taking away focus from what's actually going on. And I think Ten Hag have had a hell of a job this season. It's not been easy, and I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and give him another year.
Yeah, me too. I decided that. Yeah. What about you, Bots? Like, do you believe in the swap deal story?
Definitely not with the Swingers FC or Swap FC.
Swingers Club.
Yeah, I think first of all, I've never heard it happen. I've heard of like a manager getting sacked and then another manager getting sacked, and then from there they can swap places, but or go to the clubs that the other manager came from. But actually, maybe in the long term, maybe it could be one of those things where like other clubs other boards, could look into that and maybe they might save some money and some severance packages, and they could make a deal like that. And I feel Tuchel he's a good manager. He's not as horrible as sometimes some people make him to be. He had a lot to deal with in Chelsea, a lot of instability to deal with in Chelsea. Of course, but he got them in a Champions League, and then he went to Bayern Munich and faced a Bayern Munich that had just changed, like some people in the backroom stuff as well. And of course, looking at the competitiveness of the league in Germany, he should still win it. That's no questions asked. It's almost the equivalent of what PSG is to Ligue 1. Bayern Munich should be to Bundesliga, looking at the class and the quality of players. So that does not bring his stock up. His performance at Bayern Munich this season does not bring his stock up. But he could have a silver lining, because right now, he could make it to the Champions League final, and anything can happen. Yeah.
100%.
So you could, at the end in the summer, Mick and Jarvis and everybody in the chat, we could look at Tuchel as like, oh, maybe he specializes in Champions League and he's not really good at the domestic. Okay. He could. Nobody can talk to him if he has got 2 Champions Leagues, right? Right? Exactly. Yeah. Like it is a little the Champions League worm, and he could ride off of that. He could ride off of that hype, and that. Also, I don't feel like you fall into 2 Champions League trophies. You kind of have to have a little bit of tactical knowledge and a little bit of like a plan to actually get there, So that being said, I still would keep Ten Hag over Tuchel. I'd still be like, it's fine. Ten Hag is not touched the Champions League trophy in his life, but I'm still keeping Ten Hag for me. So yeah, that's the answer in short, Mick.
Okay.
No
Yeah,
to the
okay. If we're playing Texas Hold'em, you lay down your cards. Now it's my turn to call, and I'm calling this bluff because for me it's more agent filler, filling the press constantly, because they're looking for a job for him. He might end up at West Ham, for fuck's sake, to be honest. But there's no way, if you look at the persona profile, let's be real here. Knowing what we know for now, what Ineos is looking for, what kind of profile they're looking for in a director manager position, he does not fit it, right? Brailsford has said it. Ratcliffe has said it. We are not looking for egos. We're looking for team players that will fit the style of a culture. And he is not fitting because he's been falling out. Why did he get fallout with Paris Saint-Germain? Why did he get fallout from Chelsea? Why did he get sacked for Bayern Munich? Because he's not a team player. He's a sulker, right? So he doesn't work well with boards. And now apparently, since they got rejected, they crawled back to the cross and asked him, and he's got his pride, said, "Nah, I'm not going to return back," because something happened there, right? So I don't believe it for one single minute. And I think it is more agent filling the press, and the press is doing the job in creating this divide and conquer kind of thing. And we have a super chat coming in right from Ronald Jacob. Big up Ronald Jacob as well. This deserve we haven't done this for a while, so let's do this.
Super chat.
Super chat. Super chat. Super chat.
Super chat.
We have a super chat coming in straight from Ronald as well, and we have a gifted membership. No, we have Pig Rices that became a new member as well. So we're going to shout out Ronald here. Where did you go? There you go, Ronald Jacob. I think that is Indian rupee, I think, by the sounds of it. 400 rupee lakhs. Compare Angie first year to Ten Hag first year. Angie has spent more money than Ten Hag spent in first year. And he's going out sad without Champions League of any trophy, but our fan base wants Angie. Also, Tuchel has failed with well-built structure. Reactions, please. Thank you, Ronald, first and foremost. Thank you for your super chat donation. Namaste. Thank you. Jarvis, start with you.
Yeah, good shout, Ronald. Compare Angie, but the thing is with Angie is his first season, and I said it early, he will be found out, and we have seen it now. His high press, people figure out other managers, so we have to have more than one tactic. And this is both a critic of Angie and a critic of Ten Hag, and we saw it. He had to develop. He said in the interview with Gary Neville this season, he had to take the next step because managers get found out, and you see Klopp, he has changed his style. You see Pep, he has changed his style. A lot of managers, they change up, and Alex Ferguson is the one we all think of. And when you mentioned Alex Ferguson, no one can actually say what type of style did Ferguson play, because when in the beginning he played like the 4-4-2, then he suddenly went over to the 4-3-3, counter-attacking, high press, all-out attack, possession based. You don't know. He could do it all, and a good manager needs to be able to do it all. So a little bit of critic from me to Ten Hag. He needs to show us more in the next season. He needs to be able to play different styles. And Ange Postecoglou, he will be in for a hard season next season if he don't do anything else than this high attacking style. So it's a good point from Ronald Jacob, and thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, thank you. What do you reckon, Bots?
I mean, I know precisely why Ronald asked this question. It's because he knows there's a couple of like Ange Postecoglou FC. I'll call them Ange FC. People that obviously like loved Ange Postecoglou, or love. Let me use present tense. Love Ange Postecoglou to the point of wanting him at Man United. Now, I'll go on record and say that I'm one of the people that have been impressed by, especially the first 10 weeks. He went undefeated in the Premier League, and that had never happened before. He actually broke that record. And I was one of those people that was like, oh, this is kind of impressive. You have to recognize and see something that's new. And given the fact that Spurs was playing a totally different type of football prior to Ange coming in. There were forceful football, low block settings, really hit them on the break from Mourinho's school of thought and also Italian Conte's school of thought, So to be able to change all of that in such a quick, short span of time, that's something that's commendable. Now, is it getting the results? No. Look at where they are right now. Are they on top of Manchester United? Yes, currently. But it's not a sustainable way of playing because you need to be able, part of the hallmarks of a great manager is being able to reinvent yourself and being able to say, oh, look, the other clubs have not just one person, but many people dedicated to analyzing your style of play, looking at the deficiencies of it and trying to exploit those deficiencies. So Ange Postecoglou is now a victim of that because it's his way, the high line, mate. That high line is not going to be as sustainable. And I thought it would probably last till maybe the summer, and then they would figure him out next season. But it's actually been half a season, and he's on the free fall already. The honeymoon is over, and he doesn't look like somebody who's versatile and tactically flexible enough to come up with new solutions.
Guys, I think I called it up months ago. I've been saying consistent Spurs will be Spursy, and watch out for this run of fixtures. And look, it's happening. My premonition is happening. That's the thing. And you can argue to the point if everyone is looking at De Zerbi. Actually, De Zerbi just took what Graham Potter started to build and just expanded on it. So the style was already there, right? So people think that, okay, and you look at Brighton, they have a beautiful structure. They have a structure in place. They have a sporting director. They have a head of recruitment. They have everything, a CEO. They work in tandem, right? Chelsea, Spurs, so, right? You still have the egomaniac Daniel Levy calling the shots, but they still have a sporting director. They're getting there. So I think that next season, 100%, Postecoglou will cook, right? He will cook. Season I came in, he took that collective squad of shitbag that we had and turned them to winners, right? Because we were in every single cup competition late into the finals of FA Cup. We won the Carabao Cup, yeah? And we finished third. And this season, we got hit by God knows what. Even Paul Pogba's hyena is coming out there from Carrington, creating this curse. You know the story of Paul Pogba's hyena, right?
Yeah.
Big up Pig Rice as well. You've been donating a lot of memberships, so thank you so much. But you yourself became a member. Guys, I want to sort of talk to you about this as well because your donations means a lot, right? It means a lot. Just becoming a member is just €1 per month. That is so cheap, right? And I did a membership video today, and we are going to make more membership content, right? We've just been trying to build this community. I think we're about 300 members at the moment. But even if you get gifted the membership, that kind of expires at the end of the month. So everyone that's gifting, but if you want to continue to support us, we appreciate it a lot because that means that eventually you will see more better quality content. We decided we are going to do more quality than quantity because you guys deserve it, right? Just because there's one story coming out, we don't have to jump on and do a story. We better do some quality, and this is what we are about. We want to keep it real. And thank you so much for all your support and donation on this serious note. Madhouse, big up. Jarvis, you can read that one.
Yeah, see, if Angie gets sacked, we can get Angie or wait to the Serbi get sacked. So we can just wait for the rejects.
Look.
Let's look at. I want to circle back to Madhouse. I'm glad that you're mentioning this because it's still related to what Ronald's super chat was about. And we talked a little bit about this earlier, but look at the recruitment and support that Postecoglou got this when he came in, right? There was new players that could be able to suit part of his system, and looking at they signed Brennan Johnson, James Maddison, Pedro Porro, Mickey van de Ven, Kulisevsky, who was there a little bit earlier, but it was now made a permanent transfer, right? Draguzin, Vicario, Alejo Veliz, Ashley Phillips, Maynor Solomon, Timo Werner, all these guys were just sort of new faces that were meant to aid Postecoglou to support what he wants to play and support the vision that that he presented to Daniel Levy and the rest of the board. So, like, at the end of the day, this is what happens when somebody becomes like proactive and is supported as well by the board. You're able to see these results. So I'm expecting something similar, as long as Ineos can back, whether it's Ten Hag, whatever the new manager who comes in, or whether it's Eric Ten Hag who's supported. Like, I want to see that type of backing, because then we will see the type of football that they're trying to achieve.
But, guys, just let's be real. If you look at socials and Twitter, we all seem to want the next hipster shiny thing, right? When they're doing great, right? And we all jump on that bandwagon. Oh, De Zerbi here, Ange there, instead of looking at our own problems, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's clear and obvious that one season has proven to me that this guy knows what he's doing, but he hasn't had the backing. He had all these injuries. And what is this to say? That if you freaking get a proper structure in, we've been saying this for a while, you get the deadwoods out, finally clear out the people that's been collectively by different managers of different style, and they set a style of play that you as a manager have accountability to play. Otherwise, you're out of the door, right? All of a sudden, you have accountabilities. And I know I saw a comment here to say that, Berardi is not proven CEO yet. I hope it does a good job for us. But let me tell you, from a corporate world, a chief operating officer in a big group does exactly the same work as a CEO. A chief CEO. He's actually the left hand of the CEO. So what did they do? They set just up strategy and visions and make sure that every department is following that. So to be a chief operating officer is not a big step from a chief executive officer. So just because he hasn't been a CEO doesn't mean that he's going to be a bad one. It's about all your leadership attributes, right? The way you can strategize, the way you can lead others to follow. And I'm sure he's been handpicked for certain reason, and I'm glad that he is.
But I have to say, Mick, just to add on this, the most important role is the sporting director, and this is the role for Ashworth coming in, because he will be the link in between every department and the manager and the scouting department and all of them. So he will be the most important guy in all of this. And the thing is, he was in Brighton, as you mentioned. We spoke a little bit about the Serbi, and you got to remember when they lost Harry Potter or Graham, what's his name again?
Voldemort.
Yeah. But the thing is, when he came, De Zerbi came from Shakhtar Donetsk. He played the same style in Italy, in Sassuolo, and it wasn't a coincidence that he came into Brighton, and that was the sporting director's job to bring in a manager who could play their style, and having a type of Dan Ashford in. He will do wonders, because even if we sack the manager, we will have a similar manager suited for our squad.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Actually, he just continued what Potter was building. The same style, but just expanding and adding a little bit of his touch and flair to it. And that's what you're going to see. So I'm interested to see what kind of game plan they are developing for United this season. We see Ronald Jacob again. Big up, man, for coming a member as well. Big up, mate. Welcome to the family. If you want to become a member, just look at the Q&A in the chat. Top of the chat, you have currently a poll running, which is sitting on the 70% that the medical department is at fault, not the manager. And underneath, you have the Q&A. If you want to become a member, click on that link. For €1, you're supporting the channel. Thank you so much, Ronald, as well. Big up. Hit the likes, please. Yes, we keep forgetting. Hit the likes. Thank you, Lilis, for reminding us. Lilis, you're a legend as well, man. What else? Okay, we're going to talk about tomorrow, guys. Okay, we roasted this.
Tomorrow really quickly. I want to weigh in on the Berardi comment that was made.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
He, for me, I understand. Yeah, he's be taking up a new role, and he there's no proven like success that he will be sort of exactly like shaking the trees in this role. But something that's impressive about Berardi is, like, we know that he's been part of Manchester city's hierarchy, and he actually it's not just being a part of it. He went up the ranks of it, and he joined Manchester City in like 2011 or something like that, and they had not won a top flight title since whatever the 60s, right? And he comes in to this place. Obviously, he has had the Barcelona as well experience as well, and what's impressive about him is that he goes up to the COO role, by actually earning it. And if
you do that.
If you're doing this in a well-oiled machine, and you're doing this in a way that's like, oh, this is by merit, then you are actually doing you're making a name for yourself. And he may not have gotten that role in a previous place, but he's seen other people and how they move in it, and he has ambitions to actually become a very, very top person in the back.
No, I agree. And typical what you see in succession planning, what you typically see is chief financial officer or chief operating officers becoming the CEO, right? Chief executive officer. I've seen it so much over my 20 years. And we have some super chats coming in as well. We have Mark, the M&M here. I'm M and he's the other M. He says, if Ten Hag clinches fifth and FA Cup, respect. Yes.
Respect.
Keep it down. Respect. Yes. And well, that's sugar-coated.
That would be fantastic. If he can come in fifth and win the FA Cup, that will be over the top with a season like this. To be honest, I think it will be a little too much. I can't see us doing it, but there's still a chance. So let's just hope.
Yeah. As long as it's mathematically possible, it's possible.
Yeah,
right?
50. Another super chat coming in from Ronald as well. Big up, mate, for your contribution. And CEO might come up with an idea, but COO executes it. Yes, depends on how you set up the structure. You always have the leadership board, the executives sit there and discuss the big ideas. CEO is always the final say, right? But they all work in tandems, and this is what excites me, because if you look at who sits on the leadership board, is Jean-Claude Blanc. You know this Jean-Claude Blanc, how he rebuilt Juventus from going down from this. Jean-Claude, yeah? He's got his fingers in the pie. Then you have Barada, 100%. You got the Wilcox guy as well. That used to work for Citigroup and handling their academy, right? As a technical director. Before we used to have Darren Fletcher. We saw like laying down cones and whispering in managers' ears. And Jason Wilcox, which is best in class, 100%. So this is what you got to look at, which excites me. And it's going to take them about 12 months to get warm into the roles, one by one. And this is why I'm saying it's not feasible to then look at ripping out the manager. He's got 1 year left on his contract. They just want to continue and improve with some backing in the summer, with overhauling the squad. And this is more feasible from a business perspective. I think like with my business hat right on. You don't want to have that headache to, sack a manager and just, that's going to add on more process. And then you got to be delaying that process. So they're just going to continue. Then they will assess it maybe in the December. If it doesn't work, then free to go, right? Yeah. I think they already have a successor in mind who's going to replace Ten Hag.
Yeah, they have to think ahead. We have had these Glazers running the club for a long time, and we know every 100%. Time there's time to sack the manager, they panic. They don't have a plan. They don't know what to do. When we sacked Ollie, we have to wait with Carrick for a month, and then they brought in Ragnick. Was their plan. Nothing. Yeah.
Congratulations to McKenna, by the way.
Yeah.
Ipswich promotion. Axel Tuanzebe as well. Big up. Anyway,
Williams.
But I want to sort of stay on that topic a little bit. When with the panel and the VR, I mean, for me, the 27% and what they're doing right now, it's a little bit more power than they were actually given. Because the CEO represent the commercial and the operations, and now they're touching base and getting rid of commercial people with their people, right? So that is a little bit weird, isn't it? I mean, is it just because Joel and Avram agreed on it? Like, okay, you just run the shit. Like, we're just investors. We take the heat off. You take all the heat. but you still ruined the club for 18 years. Jarvis,
Yeah, this is
this is fishy.
basically we don't know. I have my theories, but I don't want to say them out loud.
Same here. Same here. I
Yeah,
don't want to
because
say it
I
loud.
just want to. But something is cooking. Let's just say it. Yeah.
Yeah. Respect for McKenna as well. Like, I remember when he took over as an interim, he was like a little scared rabbit, but he needed to go down and to learn his ranks in terms as manager. So I really, congratulations, big up. Took Ipswich up from what, Division 1 to the Premiership and now to the Premier League. Big up. Running the club, you know. But I see a phase out sooner or later.
It doesn't look like it at the moment. It doesn't look like the Glazers are running the club. It looks like Ineos is running the club in every department at the moment.
Or somebody else, a dark horse running the club, if we might be theoretical. It can be Jeff Bezos or somebody. I don't know. Or maybe it's Botswana Papi bought in all the big Class B shares. Oh,
No.
it's Jarvis. Yeah. Can we move into tomorrow? Trawlers Limited are in full control. Trawlers. But. Can we move into tomorrow's game? Talk a little bit about that. Right. Lineup, please. Help me, Ronda. Help me, Ronda. Who do you think is going to start as a centre back?
You have to get Johnny Evans in there, no doubt.
Johnny Evans. Johnny Evans is a red. Should I just pull up the lineup builder?
I was gonna say exactly that, brother. Pull
or
out
should we just swing it like this?
Yeah, do it quick lineup builder.
Yeah, because a quick lineup builder. Let's do a quick lineup builder. We can have a discussion amongst us. Build your team. Yes, perfect. All right, I will just share the screen then. You guys have a think about it in the VR room. Who do you want to start? And we can do this together.
Definitely not what Stephanie is suggesting.
What she's suggesting. What's she saying?
You know, Stephanie says we should put Tom Heaton and Bayern as the two centerbacks.
Maybe Onana is a centre back. All right, so Onana is starting 100%, right? So that we all can agree. They ain't gonna change, right?
Yes.
What is pure Bayanda gonna do to get a game time here? Right, so we will start with the left.
Personally, injure Onana, I think, to get game.
All right, we will start with the easy one: left back, right back. What are you saying, Jarvis?
Left back is the hardest.
Yeah, just set up your team and we can discuss your selection. That's okay for me.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to start Wan-Bissaka. Listen, we have Harry Amos as well, so you can slot in. I said it before. Wan-Bissaka can play centre back. He can play.
Well, his positional sense is not all that, so I wouldn't play him as centre back at all. You know, his
so
line
let's
would
just
be
assume
like up and down. No.
I don't know where to put Dallo and where to put. I mean, this is his old club, so I definitely put him on the right. He's facing Eze, Olise, his old teammates. I put him on the right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Olise will probably be playing right wing, right? So
and Dallo,
right. So you want somebody who can lock down Olise.
Yeah. Here, should we just move past this and come back to the centre-back pairing because this is going to take time and pick the rest and come back to the centre-back? So what do you reckon?
Take time. Okay, put Casemiro, put Johnny Evans in there.
Okay.
New combination that we're going to try.
So Johnny Evans and Cass. Yeah, I think it's going to be like. But is he fit enough, though? Listen, that's his last season. They can sacrifice him. He can compromise.
To go. Johnny Evans is ready.
You reckon they will compromise him? It's your last season, Johnny. Play. Right. Casemiro. All right. Problem solved. We have Johnny Evans, Casemiro, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Diego Dalot. Midfield, would you like to see a Bruno half injured, or would you rather, instead of Bruno, would you rather play Mason Mount? Bruno will
You're
play.
asking me
Bruno will
to
play.
go with Mason Mount as opposed to an injured Bruno, but it
Bruno
depends on
needs
how
a
he's
rest.
Bruno, the captain, is feeling. If so.
Okay, Jarvis. You
Yeah,
construct
I
the
just was
midfield.
reading up on a tweet from Rushmano. That's some news coming up, but we can bring that up in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you construct the midfield, Jarvis.
Yeah, the midfield will be Eriksen, Mainu, and Mason Mount, because I think
Eriksen.
Bruno is carrying a little injury, so he will start on the bench. Mainu, Eriksen, and Mason Mount.
Roger is saying play Bruno. I'll let Mason rest. I mean, I would say the opposite. Bruno needs a
Been
rest.
resting all season.
Yeah. So you put in a Mason Mount as a number 10 then?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would rest Bruno. He needs to rest. And you will play Kobe, right?
Kobe and Eriksen. I think Eriksen had a good game against Burnley, so I would give him another chance.
I don't think McTominay is ready. He twisted his knee, you remember? So I think they're saving him for the FA Cup. So yeah, Eriksen is leaving anyway, so they're gonna compromise him as well. All right, front line, Højlund. Do you think
that's basically the starting lineup, I believe?
You think that Rashford glides in on a cheese sandwich here?
He's still injured, isn't he? Or is he back?
Well, that's I don't know.
I haven't heard. Let's see. Check Premier League injuries.
But I don't know. He's injured or he's just
expected back 12th of May. Ankle foot injury.
They're saving him for the FA Cup, so we play
Anthony.
Okay, well, Anthony to the left.
Garnacho. No, Garnacho on the left.
And Anthony. Fair enough. So, guys, do you think this is the right lineup at the end of the day? VR room. We want to hear from you.
Jack Hoff is saying bigger mic for people to see.
Yeah. Jack Hoff is saying Ahmad as a number 10, and I could not agree more. I would like to see Ahmad as a 10. Right. So you guys can see this one, right? Can you see it? So we have Onana, we have Degadalo, Johnny Evans, Casemiro, Aaron Wan-Bissaka back four sorted. Jarvis went to pick Kobe, Maino, Mason Mount, Christian Eriksen front line, Garnacho, Højlund, and Anthony. There could be a case for Mount to play as on the left, Kobe, Maino, and maybe an Ahmad in the middle. I don't know. All right, right lineup. It's the only lineup according to what Madhouse is saying, 100%. Rajat is saying play Ahmad as a number 9, Garnacho and Anthony. There's so many combinations, guys. Yeah. Anyway, so I want to just thank you for contributing. It's been 1 hour and 15 minutes. Any Q&As? If you have, I did start a few questions. Have you get your questions coming in, and we can just wrap it up as per usual.
Yeah, I have a talking point. I have to share this from Rushmano.
Sure, yeah.
Just give me 2 seconds. I will bring it up. It's a tweet from Florian Flettenberg, the Bundesliga specialist.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see my screen here? Yep, at stage. Yeah. So basically, it says there's been talks between Bayern and Ten Hag's management in the last week. No direct talk with Ten Hag yet. His future at Man United is still uncertain. So basically, Bayern is considering several options since Ragnick rejected them. So Ten Hag is back on the table again.
Well, there were talks between Bayern and Ten Hag's management. That means his agent entourage last week. Mm-hmm. Of course, they are approaching the agent to find out the situation. Normal practice. Normal. It's very normal. But he's still under contract, and he said, well, no, I'm still under contract. I'm not interested to leave. I want to finish what I started,
Yeah, but it's not a big buyout. There's one year left on his contract. Maybe it will cost them 5 million or something. So it's doable.
Yeah, but they're doing the rounds, asking the agency. But it's down to the client himself if he wants to leave or not. So they're just being informed. This is the current situation. He's contracted another year. He signed a long-term deal, and as far as we know, they're still planning with him. If things change, we'll let you know. It's normal. That's what agency do. Like, we also know that Ajax have him high priority at the list, so they're also monitoring, like, to return back. We know also that Tuchel's agent's been pushing hardcore out in the media to say that, hey, I'm available. Pick me, pick me, pick me. So it's normal, right? But it doesn't mean that United are in talks or they're directly talks.
No, but it's a way out for Ineos if they want to go with a different option. There's a chance
what does it say?
If make some money on Ten Hag and bring in another guy, and
but
we can even spend
say?
those money we get from Ten Hag to buy another manager.
I'm not going to be on defense here, Jarvis, but what does it say if Bayern comes in asking for Ten Hag, which is our manager? What does it say? If I'm devil's advocate, they see something in him.
Yeah,
Bayern is not a Mickey Mouse club.
You know, there's not many managers available this season. You know, everybody is changing.
Everyone is retracting. Javi's staying. They're going, shit, okay. But I don't think that Bayern would just go for a Mickey Mouse manager. Bayern wants the best, right?
Yeah, but Bayern also like to sack managers. They don't give them time. They have no patience. They give them one season. You either win or you get a sack.
I think he's been given... Listen, I think he's been given reinsurances already. He's in talk with Jason Wilcox. They're already planning for the summer and everything in the transfer window, right? I think it's the case. You know, he looks more reinsured. He's been given instructions how to act in press conference. They've been banning a lot of bad press that's been writing absolutely gash stories and spreading fake news and information. So for me, he looks like as a manager has reinsurance. And I know there's a lot of people that don't like it, you know. So at the end of the day, like, we don't make the choices. It's them that are making the choices, right? We're just having opinions. Oh, Bruno is there, no? Is it Bruno?
Oh, Bruno, you injured? You able to play? Speak.
Is Bruno's going to play? Yeah, so anyway...
And Rosmano just sent me this from Fabrizio Romano, who comes out with Zidane and with the question, would you be the Bayern coach in the future? And basically he rejects them. So
no, he doesn't want to go anywhere.
They don't have many options coming out.
He doesn't want to go there.
No.
Right? I think Bayern exposed themselves right now. I don't like talk about other clubs, but you know, they exposed themselves. They did sack Nagelsmann. He was doing great for no reason whatsoever to get Tuchel in, and then they sacked Tuchel, and now they're crawling back to the cross. Tuchel, we made a mistake. You took us to the Champions League. Okay, we lost the Bundesliga, which we always keep winning for the past 11 years, right? But you deserve, like, you know, the best team deserved it, and the Xabi Alonso. So what is it to say that we stick with Ten Hag, give him the final stick? Like, it doesn't work, fine. You bring in Xabi Alonso that's available next season, or Pep Guardiola is out of contract, right?
That's true.
But certainly,
I have a comment for you here, Mick. You can read this out from Jack Hoff.
Should I read it out?
Yeah, read it.
Oh, I can see the... God. Let me just hold my breath. I will crack up probably. If... I see what you wrote. If you polish Eric's beautiful bald head, you will see glimpses of the future. Oh yeah, like a Madame Tussauds. We will go for a title charge next year with impeccable
tactics by Eric.
Yeah. That's a beautiful comment, my friend. I love it. Wow. Big up for you for constructing that as well. Unfortunately, I am not psychic. I don't own tarot cards, or I don't polish balls. Not to that extent. I'm kind of... I don't polish balls. Did I just say that?
I was like...
I'm not swinging that way, man. Thank you. Crystal bald head. Yeah. 10 Jarvis, bald Jarvis. Listen, guys. All right. Sink or swim tomorrow. I don't really care anymore. I just want to see out the season. But Jarvis has something to say.
Yeah, before we wrap up, just one more thing. I just want to get your thoughts on this new leaked. I think it's the third away kit You did you guys see this on Twitter?
Yeah,
This
it
is
looks
the
like an
new
Adidas.
30. Maybe it's leaked.
Wow. It looks like my old Adidas shoes.
Looks good.
It does. Retro. It looks cool. I like it. You?
I love it.
I fucking love it.
That
This
was
is
the German
old school
national
80s.
team kid, but okay.
Okay.
I'm with it. Not
I
bad.
like it. What you guys saying in the VR room? I like it. That's Licha. Ooh, nice tattoos, man.
Yeah. And speaking of Licha, there was
Looks
a
like the
picture
German kid.
on Instagram today
No, I thought.
Oh, he's ripped as shit.
with Licha from the gym, so he's
Oh.
ready to come back.
Oh, look at that. What a hunk. Whew.
Yeah,
And that is misses as well, so they're both ripping.
Hey,
looks good.
Mm.
He looks
I know
fit.
he's
He's
a
ready to
successful
come
man.
back. The
He's
metatarsal bone is no match for Licha.
What metatarsal bone? I can see something else rising down there in his shorts. Sorry, Sunday roast. A different vibe. Number one, Milf Hunter is very happy to see that picture, by the way. Anyway, guys, score prediction then. Should we just bother with it or should we just swing it? 2-1 United, hopefully, prayfully. Uh-oh.
3-1 United.
Really? Okay,
feel
Jarvis?
I sense it.
I predict a 2-2 draw.
A draw.
Yeah, I have to say, on the record, Crystal Palace looks really good at the moment. They have a young kid in midfield. His name is Wharton. He's 20 years of age, Adam Wharton, and he's really good. He's composed. He's a defensive midfielder. And now they have a new coach, this Oliver Glasner, and he plays a pragmatic, a attacking style of football. And he plays like the modern coach. So it will be a tough game. I think it will be an open game, tennis game, back and forward, and a lot of goals. But 2-2, it's my prediction.
2-2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Stuck in a rock and a hard place, but okay. Listen, I ain't gonna jinx it, but I'm gonna do this. You know this one, right? You got this one? All right, guys.
Fortune.
This one, Wheel of Fortune. We're almost having a season finale, and this is not jinx like Poppy's Friday night quiz shows from Cahoots. But we never got it right anyway. So listen, I go 1-1, 1-1, 2-0, 2-2, 3-2, 3-1, 3-0. You went with 3-1, Pops, so I will go with the 2-1 United. I always go with I don't even have a 2-1, so we'll add our 2-1 here to United. 2-1. All right. So get your bets in, people, and we will spin the wheel. So 3-1 is locked in from Poppy, and 2-2. Wheel of Misfortune. Let's go. Get in there, son. Come on. Get 3-1. 2-1 United. 2-1 United. 2-2 is going to be Jarvis's corner. 2-2. Jarvis's prediction. You finished strong, Jarvis. You were very strong there. Any final words from you,
Riot
Jarvis?
agree with the same prediction, 2-2.
Yeah.
So big up, Riot.
Yeah. Jarvis, any final pep talk before we close the shop?
Yeah, we just got to get out there and play our game. I would like to see more of what we did against Brentford. Burnley. Try to play more possession-based, keep hold of the ball, and try to control the game. Don't open up and try to be impatient. Long balls to Højlund, back and forward. Keep the ball, keep possession, control the game.
How do we stop SA? And by the way, I think it's going to be audition for Lise tomorrow as well. Poppy?
I mean, Eze, unfortunately, Eze is going to be good, but how when a player is rumored with us, Olise, when a player, there's that rumor going on, he plays to sort of like make sure that he shows the club what they're missing or like what they can get. So that's the thing that scares me, honestly, about this. But I'm I'm still going to be very hopeful. If Bruno doesn't play, we'll see a different, most of the season I've been crying for a team that has either Marcus playing without Bruno or no Marcus play Bruno.
And no Bruno.
Tomorrow we might actually have a team without neither Marcus nor Bruno, which is going to be a real joy to watch. And I'm very, very hopeful that we will get a very good result. And I know it's the Kool-Aid, as GB says, but in my Kool-Aid says 3-1 United. We will be here.
You'll be there.
Yeah.
All right, then. For me, it's the end of the season. For me, it's all about, do we see something different? Jarvis has spotted something different. Yeah. Do I believe we can win? Yeah, we could, right? Yeah. So a win is a win for me. So I don't care if we win 2-1, 1-0, or, but Jarvis went with a draw. But I still want standards. I still want us to finish 5th, because that's the only position we can achieve right now. And Spurs dropping points, I am currently we're sitting on 8 as it is, right? So I don't want to finish 8th or 7th. But as what Jarvis said, finishing Europa does give you revenues to the club. So, but we're talking about tomorrow. So yeah, I think we should get over the line. But we win, lose, draw. We'll be here for you tomorrow. Like you will have the watch along probably with Football Power Hour, and then we have the match reaction show after as well. And Jarvis's Corner will be on Tuesday instead.
And also, speaking of shout outs, Mark is also probably going to do a stream looking ahead to that game today. So make sure you give Mark a shout out.
It goes live when we end. And
when we end, it goes live.
Everybody who hasn't subscribed to Mark's channel, I put the link to his show in the description, so you guys can just click on and join me, because I will be on that show with Mark and talk.
Will you? Okay, fantastic.
The Crystal Palace game.
Fantastic. For everyone that's tuned in, as per usual, thank you for your likes, your subscriptions. Again, if you haven't hit the like in retrospect, please hit the like. We want to also thank Ronald Jacob as well for his super chats. Mark for his super chat, and also for all the new members. Ronald Jacob become also a member as well, and Pig Ricer as well. So massive thank you for your contribution, and everyone in the moderators, everyone that was in here. Sir Bozo was here as well. Mark Davies, legends in the house. We have Realist United. We have Madhouse. Who else do we have here that we can shout out? Legends keep coming.
Number 1 MILF Hunter.
Yes, how was your hunt, by the way, over the weekend? And Lucky Singh as well. Rushmano, the legend, as per usual. Rajat as well. And so many of you. Jack Hoff is a new name that I haven't seen before personally, but welcome to the family. Alien Tenor, Peter as well. Lilies United, we mentioned. Guys, we have Bestie from New York as well. We have Anita Hanjobo as well. And yeah, so happy to see new faces as well. So please. And Anita was actually saying 2-1 to United earlier as well. So she agrees with what I said. And Jack Hoff was saying 3-2, just to mention that. And MUFC saying 3-0 to Palace. So we have to finish off with a little bit of a negative connotation. MUFC, guys. Listen, thank you, beautiful people. Don't forget to go over to Mark Nurse's channel. Watch Jarvis. Poppy will probably also be there. We see you tomorrow, guys. Delusional as always, but we support this team and we want to finish strong. Glory, glory, Manchester United. And remember, as per always, Glazers out.
And leave a comment in the non-live section after the show. Get your predictions in and say, do you think United will win or lose?
Yeah, you just have to have the You just have to have the final words, didn't you? Yeah. All right. Yeah. It's been the Sunday roast, injury roast. Poppy, you can finish.
Yo, we out of here. Crystal Palace. Oh, we won't be smoking anything crystally, but we'll be smoking the Eagles. We're going to pluck them feathers from the Eagles tomorrow. We'll be there for the watch along. Make sure you tune in, guys. See you guys soon.
Bye for now. Cheers, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.